And welcome back to Viewpoint for today. I'm now joined by my guest who was supposed to be with me a little bit earlier, but ran in a little bit late. But that's okay. We'll give them the time remaining. I'm talking about Sherwin Greenwich, who is the district governor. He's right next to me. He's to my right. And next to him, we have Eldert Louisa. He's zone chair for St. Martin. And Alison Busby, the Lions president, right?
Yeah,
For St.
it is,
Martin.
yeah.
Good afternoon to all of you, and thanks for coming in.
Good afternoon.
I think what is important, let's feature which one of you are going to do the honors to be able to accommodate the honorable
Okay.
governor.
As a hosting chapter,
Yeah.
I would like to present our DG, District Governor,
Yeah.
Mr. Sherry. He just came back from a visit to Anguilla.
Okay.
First, he started out on Sabre, no, Statia, then went to Sabre, then went to Anguilla, and now today he's here to do what we call our audit of the club.
Okay.
And what that entails is to see how the club is functioning and give his ideas on how we could better the situation.
Okay.
As you know, we have a Lioness here that runs from the 1st of July to the 30th of June. So during this period, the Lioness here, you always get a visit from the district governor, who has about 58 clubs in charge. He's in charge of them, and he visits all of them to
Okay.
give his thing. Our zone chair then is also his helper. So
Right.
he's my boss, and the district governor is his boss, if you put it in terms of business like.
Yeah. And of course, he's in charge of making sure that he's taken care of.
Exactly.
Mr. Governor, you're
Yes,
making
sir.
the rounds.
Yes.
So I could imagine that your task is one of making sure that things are functioning.
Correct.
What have you to say about your discoveries and what these what the membership around the islands are doing, of which you're responsible for?
Thank you for having us. It's good to be in St. Martin again. I came in on Monday,
Okay.
but only overnighted, and then we went on to Sabre, then on to St. Eustatius and Anguilla, and now back in St. Martin. And the reason for those visits is because, as mentioned earlier, my zone chair, Lion Eldert, he's in charge of the four islands that make up this zone 2B, and those islands being St. Martin, Sabre, St. Eustatius, and Anguilla. And from here I move on then to zone 2C, which would be Antigua, St. Kitts, Dominica, and Montserrat. Right. So here on the island, especially, it is exciting for me from the point of view that I'm happy to recognize that these islands are recovering from the ravages of the two hurricanes, Irma and Maria. Unfortunately, the president mentioned earlier the 58 clubs, but the 58 clubs reside on 20 islands, and 10 of those islands were touched by those two hurricanes. So one of the challenges that the Lions would have had over that period of time would have been responding to the needs of those persons who were affected, but also responding to their personal needs as well, because a lot of the members of the Lions Club, especially here in St. Martin as well, received damage. And to show that they really responded in the way and they were giving service and making a difference, a lot of them left their families and went out to assist other persons who were in need. And for that, I'm grateful for the response, especially from the members of the Lions Club of St. Martin.
Okay.
On the island, I have been seeing since I've been here, paying attention to the many projects that they've been doing. They have been responding, especially in the hurricane relief. They have sought partnerships with clubs in Finland and the Netherlands to ensure that they could provide assistance. And those clubs have responded pretty well, and they're in the process of formalizing the arrangements where they will get some relief to assist those persons who have been affected as well.
All right, let's get Elder in there. You can just take that microphone. The zone chair, sir. I could imagine that you bear as much responsibility because it's not just limited to St. Martin. So, as far as what we are coming out of in terms of or disaster, which is Irma, of course, the challenges in preparation for your governor to come and inspect what's going on? What were you engaged in preparation for this?
Yeah, good afternoon, radio listener. Indeed, it is a challenge and a lot of work. As the zone chair for the zone 2B, I responsible for the 4 clubs, and I have been reporting back to this governor from the initial disaster recovery, how he was doing that, and what the 4 club was going through to make sure that we as a Lion can continue to do what we're supposed to do, which is serving the community. As you might know that we come and become a Lion to serve and give back to the community. And in case of the recovery, most of us, which are Lions, and also we have our personal um, daily jobs, had to combine the two. And it was extremely challenging for most of the Lions on those 4 islands that had to combine those two activity. Nevertheless, we were able to do what we're supposed to do during the regular hours, and then also combine that to continue to serve the community, which we are coming out to do.
Did it interrupt any of your plans as far as your projection to get things done?
Yes, it did. But I think Lion President can give more. I can say from the other clubs, most of all the 4 clubs had to adjust their schedule, their program for the year, because due to the 2 hurricane, it was difficult to follow the
Yeah.
program that was set for the year.
All right, let's Mr. Busby in here then, because I know St. Martin, of course, got hardest hit
That's
when it
correct.
comes to this one. So I don't know how much it played into interrupting your plans and
Okay.
projection of getting things done.
Yes, like I said, our year, Lionistic year, is from the 1st of July to the 30th of June the following year. So when we started out at the 1st of July, you had your plan made up, your how to do your budget, how you're going to spend the allotted funds that we receive from the community due to our fundraising project. But then up comes when you're ready to, in the starting gate, to really
Roll
start
them out.
to roll out the projects. Here comes our 2 beautiful ladies and really wrecked us up.
Oh, I
Okay,
see.
and because of that, like all the other clubs, we had to go and do a real reassessment of what are we going to do. In the case of St. Martin Lion Club, a lot of our key players or members, they were in key places for to really get the island back into the basics. I mean, we were in the VROMI, we are in the public health, we are banking, we are in the hotelier. So we had a lot of our members out there, like our zone chair said, not from 6 or 7 to 8, but we were out there nearly 24 hours just getting back the basic necessities back up and running. Like I was saying also, we also said you weren't seeing us using our jackets or our pins because at that moment that did not count. What really count for the Lion members was that we get back to where at least the basic necessities so we could start the recovery process. And that took up a lot of time. I can say that we really started back to our readjust program as of the 1st of January, when we said, you know what, okay, things have picked up, we are on a track, now let's try and do at least some project that we really wanted to do during the year, sorry, and we have taken those because the people were asking for it also.
Yeah.
And that right now we have 2 in the pipeline, which will be the eyesight project that was postponed since the former president. That was due to the funds. We did not have the sufficient funds to execute it, but now we have gotten it through to corporate sponsoring, where we will be doing what we call this eyesight project.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, it's going to be held from the 14th of May until the 19th or the 20th of May, where we'll be testing about 4,000 children from the elementary school for their eyeglasses. And if they need glasses, they will receive the glasses also. We are flying in, we are doing this with cooperation with institute from abroad, which is the VOSH. These are here we go again. I also get the ophthalmologists. Ophthalmologists, yes. They are coming in, and we were by the Minister of Health
Yes.
just recently. That's why we got a little taken back, because we were there, and also to the governor to give the governor extensive visit to
Yeah.
them, and where we explained him that also. It is a project that was done in the past, and we decided to, now that we get the funds, we could close it, we're going to do that. And then also at the end of May, or the beginning of May, June, we will be doing our annual public health project,
Okay.
which is the Rudy Hoover. And this will be the 10th year that we are doing it. We had 9 years doing it at the Festival Village, but because of the situation at the Festival Village, you cannot do that right. We didn't find it appropriate
Get
to
you.
hold it there, as you know that we have people there
Yeah.
also. So it will be a little smaller, but it still is something that people should come out to, because there will be a lot of excitement. It will be held in the Bel Air Community Center, the area then, and we'll be using the whole thing. But during the coming months, we will be doing more programs where the whole public will get more information. Also, we had our car raffle that was postponed many times.
Some time ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that also we are finally on track to get that done, because we want to get it also that done. That most likely will be then done during this public health activity, the Rudy
Okay.
Hoover. The car has finally arrived. So the bingo also, which was normally we do it in Christmas, which is the Lion Wally Halfertong bingo. That also we planning on doing in June, so that the public could also realize that, hey, we are back on track, and it's also a way of stimulus to show that, hey, we were struck, but we are not down.
Yeah.
We're up and running. So like you asked the question, as you see, we did a lot of changes, but we are back on track.
Okay, I just want you to know that we are happy to allow you the opportunity to use this platform
Thank you.
in getting the word out. I believe that is important when it comes to how you raise your funds
Exactly.
to be able to pull these projects out. I want to say something in regards to the eyesight project. I
Yes.
remember when your president were here the last time, I kind of look at it as for real,
Mhm.
but I think I'm understanding it now. And I think because we're in recovery mode as well, there are those people who can really use that help.
Yes.
Because
Like I said, it's for the youth, huh? For
Yeah.
the young kids. Many times we let me go from the beginning. The eyesight is one of the strong areas that Lions International has backed from the incentive of Lionism.
Yeah.
If I'm not correct, I think
Yes,
the
I
district
can
government
remember
would say
that.
that.
I remember that.
So we were always there with this, and I must say this was a signature project from our past president. And like I said, the funds that was necessary for this, we did not get through to get it completely. Then we reached in October. It was supposed to take place in October the 1st last year, but then, like I said, we all know what we went through, so then it was postponed. But now, yes, believe me, we are up and running. Everything is on its way. The 20 people that are coming in, they are buying their own tickets even to help to come back, because that's their way of helping us, contributing
Yes.
back to the island. We are having our hotel has also helped us. We had a great corporate sponsorship that said, hey guys, I want to do something for the youth, and we have used that there. That is, which is the Jump Up Casino, if you could recall,
Yeah.
help sponsor, give a bingo during December, where they split it into the Rotary Club of St. Martin and the Lions Club of St. Martin. But we were, that one of the things that was said was, it has to go back for the youth. And it came at the right time, the right moment.
All right.
So,
Before I get to the chair, I want to go with you. I noticed your decoration and everything else, which is nice. But what do you thought of when your colleague on the other side says that at the time of giving help in the community after the disaster, that the attire was of little importance.
And I'm glad that you picked up on that, because I wanted to speak with that as well. Because as Lions, we are taught to, once you're out doing projects, to be visible by your vest. But recognizing the importance and of what was happening, the vest was not important. Your first aim was to go out and respond. And for most of the Lions, the vest would have been probably somewhere where, at that time, you searching for your vest was not important. Immediate response was what was required. So as soon as the all care was given, these guys just knew what they had to do, and they went out to help. Visibility for us at that time was not important. What was most important to us was reaching those persons who required the help and providing the needed assistance. So that was also very important to us. I'm also excited about the Vision Project. Vision is one of the core areas of Lions Club International, and we recognize, not only in St. Martin but across the district, the need to provide this kind of service to school children. Often in our schools, we have children who might appear to be disruptive, but when we have done the testing, we recognize that the reason is because they had problems seeing the board, but because nobody was paying them attention, they decided that, okay, we need to get attention, so they become disruptive. So projects like these, where we're going to be looking at 4,000 children, imagine 4,000 primary school children, and coming out of those tests, you would recognize that sometimes some of those children who you probably never thought had eye problems will be identified, and we can then address them before they get worse, and provide the needed glasses. And especially at times like these, where a lot of their families would have been spending most of their monies getting back on track and would not have the resources to respond to the glasses, now the Lions Club of St. Martin in partnership would be able to provide glasses. So you have some glasses are already on the ground, and those children who will be screened will also receive sunglasses as well, complimentary. And when the prescription has been finalized, the glasses will be sent back free of charge. And in the event that some of the children who are being screened require additional help, the Lions Club will then help to see how they can provide, whether it be surgery or additional testing. The Lions Club will then set in and see how they can help those families. So I'm excited about the project because it's one of our core areas as well.
How does this form into your report after you have returned back to your post?
Yes.
How do you...
A very good question. Yes. So for every audit, this evening when I go through the audit, they will share with me what they've been doing and with their projects. And at the end of my year, I have to report back to International as to how the clubs, the 58 clubs in District 60B, has been responding to the needs in their communities, what projects they have been doing, the number of persons that they have touched, the amount of money. Sometimes we don't recognize the amount of money. It might not be physical money, but when we translate that into the time, especially the professionals that we interact with, the ophthalmologists that you mentioned, that is then translated into monetary value, and then that is reported to International as to what service and how the Lions on the islands have been responding to the need and making a difference in the lives of those persons.
Is there any way that something of this nature, like what we've been through, you might at a given point call on these people who have been through such experience to maybe share as to some of the other districts, how they can cope with? Can that play any into the Lions Club throughout?
Certainly, what would happen, especially from our service, we benefit from best practices. So, especially here, and we're approaching another hurricane season.
Yeah.
And coming out of what would have happened in hurricane season just passed, would be learnings as to how best to prepare.
Yeah.
So, part of our goals is also disaster preparedness. So we have some person who is in charge of disaster preparedness, and certainly there will be learning shared as how best we need to respond. And as the hurricane season approaches, we as a Lions organization will be sharing with citizens in the communities how they should prepare, and especially using the learnings from what those two hurricanes has taught us, how best we should prepare, and that we should be serious in our preparation.
Yeah, Zone Chair.
Yes, I want to add to what the district governor mentioned. In the last convention in St. Lucia, actually, they asked me as being part of the Smart Alliance to indicate what we went through. So I, as a lion, had to report in a workshop. There was 4 or 5 lions that had to bring up what their experience was, and then for us to get the learning lessons, for us to be able to prepare and work on that disaster report that district governor just mentioned. So indeed, we do share information among the clubs.
And I guess you are very well prepared to do something like this if called on.
That's correct.
And what was also touching at the convention that we had in St. Lucia, we had a lion from Dominica who shared her experience of what actually happened. And her experience was so touching that immediately we raised, out no prompting, over $2,000 based on her experience and her explanation as to what was required in Dominica.
Yeah.
And immediately persons went into their pockets and we raised $2,000, which was then sent back by her to Dominica to provide food and assistance and sanitary supplies too. So even though we have been serving and meeting requirements, it just still means that the passion was there, that based on an experience, we could have provided funds immediately to provide assistance. But that's what we do.
Well, I'm running out of time, but which one of you would like to at least speak to the public and give the assurance of the service that you're providing and that you'll continue to do so as we button up today's
I will
discussion?
leave the line president finish, but before that, I want to just mention as a zone chair, I'm very happy with the visit of the district governor. I already got feedback from the 3 other clubs. Everything went well, and this evening we will have the Smart Alliance Club audit. I definitely know that it's going to be well as well, but I will like the line president to give the final one.
Yeah, thank
Yes. First and foremost, I would like to say to the general public, we have been through a lot, but remember, we are not down. If you see how I just returned from a trip to Orlando, where I had to for my job, and there was some training. And when I said where I introduced myself, and they were like, the first thing was like, "How was the hurricane? How did you do? How well?" And when you start telling them that our cruise ship is back on track, flights are coming in, and they're like, "So fast." I said, "Yes, you know why? Because we are resilient.
Okay.
We are proud citizens. No matter what, we stand up, we get back up, dust off, and we continue our work. And that's the same thing with the Leos, our young chapter, and the Lions Club.
Okay.
We are there to serve, and we will continue serving no matter what."
But I want to thank you for the service that you've done for the country. District Governor.
Yes, just remember to the citizens of St. Martin, where there's a need, there's always a lion.
All right. And I want to thank you for coming in, and I hope your experience has been a good one.
Yes.
Despite all that we've
It
been
has,
through.
it has been a good one.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. President. I really appreciate the information that you have shared with the general public. All right, folks, we have to wrap it up now. We're out of time. We'll be back again next week, Monday, with another program like this. We invite you to come and join us then. From all of us, enjoy your weekend. Thanks for listening and for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.